Italian December 2019 women's pole vault is the place to be.
I don't care. 10 tables.
It must be devastating as a filmmaker to pump your heart and soul into
totally
a project
agree with
only
your
for it to
take,
be
Felly.
weighed
My sister is overhead, and I'm just not attracted to that. There's nothing wrong with that. I just don't like a sister that's overweight.
down by a few, or more than a few in some cases, god-awful CGI moments. But it must be said that designing computer-generated imagery is no mean feat. It can take months or even years for visual effects teams to craft high-quality CGI sequences for a feature, and even then there's always room for improvement. However, the likes of Avatar and Avengers Infinity War and Endgame have now shown us what is truly possible when it comes to the world of CGI in film.
Avatar
so
went hard.
that's why it can be so painfully obvious when a particular effect doesn't stick the landing. I'm Gareth from WhatCulture.com, and here are 10 terrible CGI movie moments you cannot unsee.
This is really bad.
Number 10, Baywatch, worst fire ever. 2017's Baywatch got you into the cinema for one of two reasons. You either wanted to stare at the pretty cast for 2 hours, or you heard that the film was rated R and wanted to see what all the fuss was about. What you definitely didn't expect to see was out of this world CGI effects, which would have made Steven Spielberg proud. And it's a good thing too, because we definitely did not get that in this Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson vehicle. The infamous moment, which stands out as one of the worst uses of CGI in modern movie history, happens during Mitch Buchanan and the gang's daring attempt to rescue some civilians from a burning boat in the middle of the sea. As they get close to the floating blaze, it becomes clear that these flames are 100% fake. Painfully fake. I mean, the fire looks like it was designed on Minecraft. Thankfully, the entire clunky sequence doesn't last much longer than 5 minutes. So fans are free to get back to enjoying the view of the cast soon after. Number 9, Gods of Egypt, Minotaur Attack. After the initial trailers dropped for 2016's Gods of Egypt, it was clear to most that this film wasn't going to be boasting out-of-this-world visual effects. However, the promise of Gerard Butler hamming it up as an Egyptian god would surely be enough to distract us from the outdated CGI on show, right? Wrong. So wrong. One particular instance of truly dreadful CGI came during a scene which involved a bunch of Minotaurs ambushing Brenton Thwaites' Beck.
Wait, but that was also garbage though. Wait, can we not talk about this though? Wait, hey!
So wrong. One particular
What the fuck? What is...
instance of truly dreadful CGI
The lighting, nothing works
during a scene which involved a bunch of Minotaurs ambushing Brenton Thwaites' Beck, only for Nikolai Coster-Waldau's Horus to pop up and save the day at the last moment. Unfortunately, the nasty Minotaurs on show here look like they've been ripped straight out of an old stop-motion King Kong movie. For a feature which had a $140 million budget to play with, it's quite embarrassing that the end result turned out to be near unwatchable at times due to some of the laziest CGI in recent history. Number 8, Hellboy, that Ian McShane moment. When Hellboy finally returned to our screens in 2019, fans wandered into the film with a spring in their step, as the first few glimpses of the reboot looked promising. Sadly, what we got in the end was a half-assed attempt to bring Hellboy's world to life, with the majority of the CGI on show being borderline offensive. The disjointed scene where David Harbour's Hellboy fights off some CGI giants definitely sticks out as one of the worst visual offenses in the film. However, that scene looks like a visual masterpiece compared to that Ian McShane moment at the end of the movie. McShane's Trevor Broom had just been killed by Mila Jovovich's Blood Queen, so a pissed off Hellboy decides to finally yank out Excalibur and looks set to bring about the apocalypse, as you do. Then, in a last gasp attempt to appeal to his human side, Alice uses her powers to channel Broom's spirit, who then tells the demonic being that he is better than this. Unfortunately, the feature's relatively small $50 million budget meant that the team weren't able to juggle a deeply realistic Anung Unrama and convincing second coming of Broom at the same time. So we just got this weird head on top of an animated umbilical cord instead. Number 7, Gemini Man, young Will Smith. When your entire marketing campaign focuses on the fact that a well-known acting superstar would be fighting a younger version of themselves in your movie, you have to stick the landing on that all-important de-aging job. Unfortunately, Gemini Man wasn't able to do just that with their cloned version of Will Smith in the 2019 action thriller. There were moments when the effect worked a treat, and audiences were allowed to fully invest in the idea of Smith's character, Henry Brogan, genuinely being faced with the prospect of fighting off a quicker, stronger version of himself. However, at too many points in the story, we were left wincing at just how jarring the finished CGI was in this paint-by-numbers action flick. Yet by far the clunkiest piece of CGI in the big-budget flop was the final scene involving Brogan's clone being visited by the original Brogan at college. Too many Brogans. Here, the clone looks like he's been pasted in from a cutscene in a video game, and a film which seemed focused on delivering next-level visual effects ultimately ends on a de-aging duff note. Number 6. Cats. Pretty much all of it. All of the talk coming into Tom Hooper's cinematic take on Andrew Lloyd Webber's Cats centered around the director's use of groundbreaking visual effects.
Guys, what the fuck is that?
To bring his titular felines to life. Yet, when the first trailers hit the internet for this visual furball, fans all around the world were left feeling slightly disturbed or even concerned about what had been conjured up by the film's visual effects team. Actors such as Sir Ian McKellen and Dame Judi Dench had been morphed into catrocities before our very eyes. But we were still a few months away from the film's release date. However, they could not improve the visuals in time. Instead, they rushed the feature into cinemas and were forced to re-release another version of the film at a later date, to cover up some CGI blunders such as Dench's wedding ring being very much visible. Sadly, even the re-release couldn't match.
Wait, what?
Such as Dench's wedding ring being very much visible. Sadly, even the re-release couldn't mask the odd decision to put noses on inconsistently sized, digitally altered cat/human hybrids. And so much of the film just ended up feeling like one big acid trip. Number 5, Terminator 3: Rise of the Machines, Fake Gravestones. Coming into the third installment of the Terminator franchise, fans were pretty much convinced that the series could do no wrong. The original James Cameron flick boasted some of the best practical effects of its time, and Judgment Day also held its own in terms of its impressive visuals. Rise of the Machines did its best to keep pace with its predecessors in 2003, but there were a few moments where the effects stuck out like a sore mechanical thumb, the worst of which goes down in a cemetery, when Arnold Schwarzenegger's Terminator is attempting to flee the scene with John Connor in a coffin. After safely shoving said coffin into the backseat of a hearse, the pair pick up Kate Brewster just as she's about to be blown to bits by the evil T-X. But not before Arnie blasts the nasty robot with a rocket launcher straight into one of the worst digitally rendered objects in cinema history, an ill-fated gravestone. Brewster is saved and the three manage to get away from the scene. However, the fans in the cinema could not get away from the fact that they just witnessed some absolutely rotten CGI in a near $200 million blockbuster. Number 4, Venom: Final Battle. Tom Hardy's Eddie Brock morphing into the hulking symbiote was a visual treat at times in 2018's Venom, and the scene where he completely massacred a SWAT team was a particular highlight of the Spider-Verse spin-off. However, all that good work was very nearly overshadowed by a few cringeworthy CGI moments in the climactic final battle between Venom and Riot and Eddie Brock and Carlton Drake. As the enemies tear chunks out of each other, both symbiotes half split away from their hosts. In this moment, Venom and Riot are seen trying to get the better of one another, while Drake and Brock continue to wrestle for dominance. Yet it was painfully obvious that a cartoonish Hardy and Riz Ahmed had been digitally placed into that scene. If that terrible CGI beat wasn't bad enough, when time slows down as Riot slowly engulfs Brock and Venom, the flick quickly starts to enter B-movie visual territory, which isn't exactly what you want from a film which cost over $100 million to make. Number 3, Pirates of the Caribbean: Dead Men Tell No Tales, Shark Attack. There was a time when the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise was home to some of the most convincing visual effects in modern cinema. However, here we are off the back of the most recent outing for Johnny Depp's Captain Jack Sparrow in 2017's Dead Men Tell No Tales, and it looks as though the CGI wheels have completely fallen off this once visually stunning world. Depp's de-aging in the flick wasn't actually half bad, but that's about as good as it got for the fifth Pirates film's visuals. The worst culprit came during a scene where Jack and Brenton Thwaites Henry
That looked kind of crazy, but it wasn't bad.
Turner were being chased by ghost sharks. Yep, they're a thing now. Looking, ironically, like the sort of unpleasing visual effect you'd find in an immersive theme park ride. The moment where one of the sharks jumps out of the water and attempts to munch the two main characters felt about as believable as the thought of a decent fifth Pirates film did on paper. Number 2, The Predator. Predadogs. Though many felt that the most soul-destroying part of Shane Black's The Predator was the film's decision to make the big evil a badly animated ultimate predator.
Guys, I feel like it can be bad, but it gets really bad when there's literally almost a blur around the CGI, and you can definitely tell, like, it's just in a complete different realm than in the scene it's in.
I see your super CGI'd 11-foot-tall monstrosity and raise you a pair of...
That was the problem with some of the Black Panther shit. Sometimes you were like, dude...
God-awful Predadogs. These two just
like,
looked positively terrible, and their appearance only got worse during a scene which involved the Abominations trying to turn Jacob Tremblay's Rory McKenna into Predator chum. Clearly trying to cover up just how much of a visual mess these alien canines had become, most of the action involving them took place at night. However, even that couldn't stop one of the dogs looking like a creature out of an early installment of the Doom franchise when it was swatted away by an oncoming vehicle. Things went from bad to worse when one of the dogs decided to chase down Boyd Holbrook's Quinn McKenna, only to be turned into a deeply unsatisfying gloopy green disaster in midair thanks to a grenade being pumped down its throat by McKenna. Had Black decided to spend a little bit more time making sure those CGI characters didn't resemble entities from an early 2000s video game, he could have at least...
Wait, what was that with the physics on this one?
Those CGI characters didn't resemble entities from an early 2000s video game, he could have at least produced a Predator film that bloody looked the part. Number 1, Guardians of...
Guy, couldn't he just made it more look believable by just throwing the thing on the ground and make it roll or something? I don't know.
The Galaxy Volume 2, Ego's Expansion. When the first Guardians of the Galaxy film burst onto the scene in 2014, it was universally praised for its mix of perfectly crafted humor and deeply flawed characters who you could fully relate to. Even the talking tree. Yeah, one aspect of that first film, which was a little overlooked, was just how stunning some of the visual effects were. So that's why it was so weird to see such a blatantly awful piece of CGI wedged into the finale of the 2017 sequel. As Ego's seedlings began to terraform and his expansion started to become a reality, MCU fans in cinemas all over the planet couldn't help but wonder why his terrifying plan looked an awful lot like a blue version of flubber-eating cities. Thankfully, the epic battle between Peter Quill and his father, coupled with Yondu's heartbreaking sacrifice, helped cover up this big old blue mess. But for a moment there, it definitely looked...
Yeah, that looks fine. If that's how they want to make it look like, that's fine. I don't think it looked out of place, though.
Looked like James Gunn had completely crapped the CGI bed in the final moments of Volume 2. And that's our list. Know of any other terrible CGI moments that you cannot unsee? Then feel free to let us know all about them in the comment section below. And do not forget to like, share, click on that subscribe button, and ring the bell while you're there. Also, be sure to head on over to What Culture...
Oh no, is it the mummy? Is it the mummy? I knew it! I knew you would like the mummy. I knew you would like the mummy. The fucking mummy, dude. I knew you'd go for it. Okay. Jesus. Guys, it's all bad though. Yo, you can say CGI as much as you want, dude. The audio is dog shit. It's out of sync. It's all bad though. The audio is completely out of sync. 2001, yeah, but guys, listen. I don't like people that say, "Oh, 2001." Guys, guys. Age isn't always a factor, guys. Just take a look at Avatar. For the time of what it was in, it was fantastically looking, right? And there's fantastic CGI looking things that are from way back. Great looking things. Great. Fantastic. Star Wars, Jurassic Park, motherfucker. I get it. Some of this is how do you call that? It's not special effects. It's boom. Guys, it's something else. So was it terrible? It wasn't that bad. Okay, practical effects. Guys, I was there was no CGI. Yeah, wasn't it very small or no CGI on Jurassic Park? Yeah, okay, I was wrong then. Prove it. Yeah, guys, when was Avatar made?
Watch this shit.
Avatar scene. Let me see.
Feels glad man.
2009. What's this?
It's probably electrical based on the speed of the reaction.
Norm,
Gigacut.
contaminated the sample with your saliva.
This looks fantastic. Give me as much as you want to. This looks fantastic. It's kind of laggy though. The re-upload is laggy as fuck. Yeah, she looks great. It's good work. 8 years later. Yes, also CGI.
This is the worst I've ever seen people upload.
The T-Rex scene is good,
visit approved.
guys, but it's not CGI. I don't think.
Hey X for
Oh,
my
this is
research,
fantastic.
check out Space
But this is not CGI, I don't think.
All of the scenes had 0 to few CGI scenes.
It is.
Link Indiana Jones CGI Omega lol.
It's a mix of both, right?
Maybe it's the power trying to come back on.
What is that?
Guys, yeah, you have to appreciate how vibrant they made this look, though. Doesn't this look so good, though? I think it's a really good picture.
Where's the goat?
Where does he think he's going? When you gotta go, you gotta go.
This is a classic.
Dr. Grant?
Very loud.
Boy, do I hate being right all the time.
absolutely still. His vision's based on movement.
I was watching that. I was watching this. What just happened? Okay. Interesting. Okay. Okay. This was
Hello L.
guys, something in clips then. Guys, what is this, man? What the fuck, dude?
26 months.
About this one, that you don't want to put the 527.
Who is shooting what? Because I don't know who is shooting what. Okay, boys. Okay, boys. That was fun.